Hello, friends. Welcome to the IYAH IYAH Perspectives, where we look beyond the headlines and dive into the deeper stories that shape our world. Today, we are talking about Nigeria, my beloved country, a nation once revered across Africa and respected globally. But this same country is now reduced to the butt of international criticism and domestic denial. Let us begin. Recently, the American President Donald Trump, who had before and once again called out Nigeria for what he termed a genocide against Nigerian Christians. Now, that claim didn't begin today. It predates the current administration in Nigeria. But what matters is how the Nigerian government responded, or rather, responding. They have failed to respond meaningfully. Instead of introspection, we saw the same old reflex propaganda, press statements, full of emotions but empty of substance. The government machine, rather than addressing the roots of insecurity or the deep religious violence that continues to scar communities across board, double down on denial. That's the old style. All politics, all optics, but no substance. Friends, there was a time, not too long ago, when Nigeria carried real weight on the regional and international stage. Even under undemocratic military regimes, the world listened when Nigeria spoke. Our peacekeepers were in Liberia, they were in Sierra Leone. Our diplomats were respected at the United Nations, at the Commonwealth of Nations, at the African Union, and even the Economic Community of West African States, which Nigeria also houses. Then came the golden moment under President Obasanjo. Nigeria was not perfect, but we were influential. We experienced debt forgiveness, regional leadership, economic reforms. Obasanjo's Nigeria had credibility. The world saw us as a country in transition, a giant that was then referred to as beginning to rise. Fast forward to today, that influence has evaporated. Our leaders are obsessed, dangerously obsessed by what? Power. The next elections, the fat accounts, and the number of limousines or Rolls Royce or Cadillacs on the streets of Abuja. The estate itself have been captured. The Nigerian estate has been captured by a small political class whose only mission is to hold power, not wield it for progress. Look at the quality of their spokespersons. People chosen not for competence or knowledge, but for loyalty, for cronyism, for friendship, for tribalistic grounds. And partisanship is as if the government's communication machinery was built not to inform or lead, but to defend the indefensible. When the world questions Nigerians' human rights records, they respond with sarcasm. When people ask for accountability, they chant slogans, they gaslight you. Politics has become the only business in town. Governance has become an afterthought. Friends, in the last decade, we have seen disturbing inversion of values. Terrorist sympathizers absorbed into establishment, into the military, while activists, journalists, and advocates are charged with treason and terrorism. The government lives in denial, believing that global perception can only be managed with hashtags, with propaganda, and press briefing. Friends, it's not working. But here's the truth. The world is far more informed about Nigeria than those who are in power today think or their surrogates think. When I listen to Professor Soyinka's remark on President Trump's comments that Trump's labeling of Nigeria as a disgraced country was merely an insult, I couldn't help but to think deeper. That education, prestige, even Nobel Prizes mean little when one loses his moral compass. What Trump said may sound harsh, but for many Nigerians across the world, and I mean, it simply echoed what they already feel, what we feel. We are disgraced. Disgraced by election rigging, disgraced by thuggery, disgraced by bandits, disgraced by corruption and nepotism, disgraced by the killings of Christians and Muslims that have become a routine in Nigeria. We have been disgraced by the institutions, from the legislature to the judiciary, that now serve men in power rather than justice itself. Friends, this episode isn't about Donald Trump. It's about me and you. It's about Nigerians and those that love Nigeria. It's about a nation that once stood tall, a beacon of hope, now stumbling under the weight of hypocrisy and misrule and mismanagement and maladministration and misappropriation. A country overrun by borrowing. It's about the leadership class that mistakes propaganda for policy and flattery for governance. So, in my opinion, and I say this, take it to the bank if you won't catch the check or not. This is not with bitterness but with truth that Nigeria is a disgraced country and we are being disgraced by our leaders, not by Nigerians. Trump just stated the obvious, and until we face that reality, we will remain trapped in the circle of denial. We will be trapped in the circle of decay and decline. Friends, this has been IYAH IYAH Perspectives. I want to thank you for listening. And please remember that progress begins when we stop pretending, when we stop telling lies to ourselves. But until next time, please stay conscious, stay crucial, and stay hopeful. And if this message resonates with you, I urge you to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I say bye for now.